Stories, and our story is it's all about delays. It's all about delays. We're echoing, we're feeding back, we're playing back. This is just amateur hour here at this Australian Open Live. Welcome. We're here, we made it. Thanks for waiting for us. And what are we doing today? It's the long overdue qualifying preview of the US Open 2023. So let's all just take a deep breath. Don't go away. We'll be right back. And that's enough of that. So that's what it is. Welcome back. Excuse me. Welcome back to this Australian Open Live. We tell stories, and our story is tennis. And coming to you from our production studios in Melbourne, Australia, for our global audience, tennis fans around the world who are no doubt looking ahead to the final Grand Slam of the year. We'll just turn that Brazilian dance floor music down a tiny bit because we don't want to be yelling. And yeah, let us know what you think about the WTA Tour. Don't have to tell us now, but if you want to tell us something and join the conversation, you'll need to be a subscriber. You need to like this episode. You need to subscribe, and once you're a subscriber for the grand total of 60 seconds, you can make as many comments and give as much feedback as your heart desires. And we want to thank our audience for sticking with us through the journey as we've had a little bit on over the last few weeks. And yesterday, with all good intentions of having this episode last night, 24 hours ago, we just got a little bit caught up in creating a 70-second teaser for the Melbourne International Film Festival. That's right, we are the centre of the universe when it comes to sports, events, culture, coffee, and Aussie rules. So let's take a look at the men's side of things, and let's just break things up a little bit further by just keeping it interesting in the background there. That as shotmaker showcase, why not bring some men into the picture? And let's take a look. If you've never seen Shingo Kaneda, one of the top elite level wheelchair tennis players, well, feast your eyes on this. So coming up in the background will be some footage of Shingo going about his business a couple of years ago at the Australian Open 2022. This isn't qualifying, this is the real deal, the quarterfinals, and he was up against a Frenchman. So enjoy these images in the background. Yep, Martin, he's from Spain, Martin De La Puente. I'm so sorry for butchering the pronunciation in that regard. So I'll just make sure that is full screen. Yes. Oh dear. So I've got my training wheels on as far as the streaming software goes. So we've had some interesting results over the weekend at the top level, but it's all about the climate protesters in Washington for the men. More climate protesters. Oh dear. Look, at the DC Open, briefly held up by a climate protest was the final. Was it the final? Come on, the last 16 match. Come on, get it together. Andy Murray was playing Taylor Fritz, the world number 9, current world number 9, and Andy Murray at the grand old age of 36. And he was a runner-up in this tournament 17 years ago, and he won the first set on a tie-break, and he looked like he was getting close to another of his occasional statement wins, because we all know he had that horrible affliction with his hip, where he ended up having hip surgery, and it was going one way or the other. He didn't know if he'd be continuing on or retiring, and he pulled through. And here he is, a couple of days ago, or maybe a day and a half ago. He had 3 break points in the second set. 3 break points for a 4-2 lead. But guess what? Taylor Fritz, who is really coming into his own the last 18 months, he put up a heck of a performance against box office Nick Kyrgios last year at Wimbledon, and he is the DC Open. He's the top seed, and guess what? He managed to see off all 3 break points from Andy Murray, and he went on to, would you believe, he has already won 40 matches in 2023. No wonder he's up in the top 10 at the moment, and he's also the American number 1, and you wouldn't want to know, but he beat Australia's Jordan Thompson 6-3, 6-3 in a quarter-final match on Friday, and he's going to be facing Talon Griekspoor in the semi-finals. He's from the Netherlands. Now, just that scoreline against Andy Murray, 6-7, 6-3, 6-4. Well done, Taylor Fritz. He's a young dad, by the way. If you didn't know, he's either got 1 or 2 kids. I can't remember. But imagine that, having a couple of little kids. There are quite a few parents on tour, isn't there? But we don't often hear about the men who are young dads with kids following around. And we're all familiar with Roger Federer and his 2 sets of twins with Mirka. Hello to you, Roger. Hope you're enjoying all those kids movies. You got plenty of time to be watching those. You probably own your own cinema. So you wouldn't want to know, but the match between Fritz and Andy Murray was held up. There was a group of protesters. They threw giant tennis balls onto the court. They were escorted from the sand because you're supposed to use a racket. But Andy Murray had already smashed his racket on the ground after dropping his serve in the first game, and then came the climate protest. And as the protest came in, you can look. It's even ruining my concentration. These climate protesters, but yeah, a local climate activist group in DC, chanting, throwing, making a nuisance of themselves, and Taylor Fritz was the one who had the composure in his mentality to shake off the frustration. And as soon as the match resumed, he was straight back into business, and broke at the start of the second set on his way to levelling the match. And the 25-year-old, surviving those 3 break points at 3-2 down in the decider, but Murray double faulted, and he gifted Fritz 3 chances to break. And the backhand drifted long from Andy Murray. And it was a dramatic final game as Murray had 3 more breakback points at love 40, but Fritz, he got through all of them, squandered 2 match points apparently, and then converted the 3rd. So as you can imagine, his on-court interview was basically lambasting the protesters. He's happy for people to have their say, but when you're ruining someone else's good time, it just doesn't make sense to me, said Taylor Fritz. But now, some other news that caught our eye was Dan Evans, the British tennis player, and he has had a horrible run of matches in 2023. He is the British number 2, and he has lost 8 of his last 9 matches before he got to Washington for this tournament. And he managed to see off the Russian Alexander Shevchenko 6-4, 6-3, and he's booked a spot with Grigor Dimitrov, a semi-final spot. And there's another underperforming ATP professional. And then Dan Evans, he actually upset Frances Tiafoe in a quarter-final, which is no mean feat because Frances Tiafoe is a deadly cannon tennis player, and he's in some good form this year. But Evans, the British player, broke the American second seed for this tournament in the opening game of both sets. And Tiafoe sent down 16 aces, would you believe, and a great style of attacking tennis. But yeah, Dan Evans was just more than up to the task. So that's at the DC Open. We're going to finish off soon and come back with some sights, sounds, summer of tennis. But before we do that, don't go away. We'll be right back because we're going to look at some random ATP Tour men's results over the last couple of days to whet your appetite for the US Open qualifying, and that starts on, everyone, the 23rd of August 2023 at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday. Yep, don't go away, we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back to this Australian Open Life. We tell stories, and our story is tennis, and it's the qualifying preview, well, sort of, for the US Open 2023. And we want to bring this baby home and wrap it up under the 45-minute mark because I can hear that chicken masala, butter chicken, it's starting. I can smell it, even though it's not actually underway yet. So. In this particular section, we'll wrap up here, is we're going to go through some random lead-up tournaments for the ATP Tour and just look for some interesting results on the ATP Tour, but also the Challenger Tour, because don't forget that just like Hollywood, you've got your A-listers on the ATP Tour, the guys that are running around in the top 100 or 110 rankings, but then there's the rest. The guys and the girls that do it hard outside the top 100, and they've got to grind away and get to all sorts of places around the planet to build up their rankings points. So it's always interesting to see who's around the fringes in the top 100, top 300, or 350 or 400 actually, and see who's doing the business. So let's get back into some sunshine. because it's a bit chilly here in Melbourne, and we want to just get some summer vibes going, some vitamin D. So here's some sights, sounds, summer of tennis at Melbourne Park. And you can see we got down there on screen currently. That day was the first day of qualifying we went to, or the second or the third, I can't remember which. And that's what's waiting for you next year at AO 2024. If you haven't got your ticket booked yet, if you're on the other side of the world or in South America, or maybe you're in Seoul in Korea and you want to come out and support your fellow countrymen, or maybe you're in Tokyo, who knows? But there you go. This will whet your appetite, and a bit of sun won't go astray either at the moment. So let's have a look at some random scores for some matches that were played recently. And I can see from the second round of qualifying on the grandstand court on the National Bank Open in Toronto, Canada, a couple of very familiar names. The Australian Alexander Vucic He was up against the Argentinian Diego Schwartzman, lost in straight sets in an hour and 20 minutes, 6-4, 6-4. So that's a bit of bad luck for Alexander because he's on the up and up. So he's just looking to level out his game at the moment and get some consistency going to be more around that top 100 mark. Some other results. Here's another Australian, and you'll have to excuse me for a little bit of bias towards some of the players we've been showcasing over the last couple of years. We've been going in the second round of qualifying on court 3 at the National Bank Open in Toronto, Canada. Chris O'Connell, who had a sensational run at Wimbledon this year, he lost. I'm giggling because I was building him up. He lost 6-7, 4-6 in just under 2 hours to the Frenchman Garin. And here's our old mate Max Purcell. He is a Grand Slam winner. He won Wimbledon doubles last year with Matt Ebden, and he has beaten the Canadian Schnur. He flew through that match, second round qualifying, 6-2, 6-1 in just over an hour. And at the DC Open, actually we'll skip that. Let's go over to Austria at the Generali Open in Austria. A couple of interesting matchups here. Bayers defeated Dominic Thiem. I think that was well reported, that final. An hour and 20 minutes. Dominic Thiem, welcome return to form, but unfortunately is a run-up on this occasion. Sebastian Bayers winning 6-3, 6-1. Let's go down to Mexico. Always interesting tournaments down in Mexico. So the Mifel Tennis Open at Los Cabos, Mexico, the final. And De Minaur has done it again. Yep, he's managed a runner-up spot to Stefanos Tsitsipas in an hour and 26 minutes. De Minaur losing 6-3, 6-4. Great return to form at the Estadio Mex Tennis by Tsitsipas. He's been sort of not inconsistent recently, but he will have really enjoyed banking that win leading up to the US Open. An interesting doubles match here between the men at the Mifel Tennis Open at Los Cabos, Mexico. The Mexican got up. Gonzalez partnering the Frenchman Roger Vasselin, that's his surname, and they beat the Australian Harris and Kepfer from Germany 6-4, 7-5 in an hour and 23 minutes. So let's just skip across to other tournaments on challenger level as it just clicks over, and we'll quickly go through this. In the RD Open at Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, we've got Huertas del Pino beating the great Gandini. Who did he beat? The great Gandini in an hour and 14 minutes, 6-3, 6-1. Gomez beating the American Tracy in the first round qualifying, 7-5, 6-3. Let's see if we can find some other slightly more well-known names. Not really. There's the Ukrainian had a good win in the first round qualifying at the Serena Wines 1881 Aqua Tennis Cup in Cordenons, Italy. The Ukrainian Brainin winning... no, the match has been suspended. Come on. Up against the Italian Tabacco. It's spelt tobacco, but I'm going to call it tobacco. And that match is currently in the third set, with the Italian leading 4-2 in the third set. But it's one set all, with the Ukrainian will start serving when they come back from the rain delay. 6-2, 5-7 a set apiece. And the rain also causing a bit of a delay with Ballestieri against Rottoli. Two Italians are only 20 minutes into their first round qualifying match at the same tournament. And we'll finish off, we'll just finish off with one match each from the Mara Open in Nierbusch, Germany, and also the Porto Open in Porto, Portugal. So the German tournament first. His Turkish tennis player, you don't see many Turkish players on the ATP Tour. Kirkin, he's beaten good win against the Brazilian. You wouldn't think a Brazilian would go down 6-3, 6-1, but that's exactly what happened in the first round of qualifying on court one there at 1 hour and 2 minutes. And our final match, unless I can see another interesting result, which I can't, so we won't scroll down too far. We'll just finish up with the Porto Open, the final on Central Court in 2 hours and 14 minutes in 3 sets. The Portuguese player Sousa was beaten by the Italian Nardi. Luca Nardi won the match 7-5, 4-6. No, he lost. Nardi won. I beg your pardon. Come on, concentrate. Nardi winning 5-7, 6-4, 6-1. That is a great turnaround for Luca Nardi, winning the final of the Porto Open in Portugal. So let us know what you think. Any results there surprising you? Is there any players that you'd like us to have a look at during the qualifying? Be more than happy to look into those, but pending our commitments to the Melbourne International Film Festival and various other commitments, we'll try our best to tap into qualifying at the US Open beginning on Tuesday, the 23rd of August at 11 a.m. and that goes for 4 days until Friday the 26th and 11 a.m. local time, New York, America. So we'll take a short break and then we'll wrap it up. So don't go away, we'll be right back. And don't go away, we will be right back. And that's enough of that. So, welcome back to this Australian Open Live. We tell stories and our story is tennis. And really appreciate your company here during a very brisk Melbourne winters, late afternoon, early evening. It is a stinking hot 12.5 degrees here in Melbourne, and luckily today was very sunny and very pleasant. And but we do miss the sun, the sights, the sounds, the summer of tennis here. And the good thing is that it's only about 6 months away. So we're looking forward to bringing that to you, and we've enjoyed bringing to you this little excursion into a qualifying preview at the US Open 2023. So what's your thoughts? Some of the matches and the players that we had a bit of a chat about, what do you think? And who do you think's performing? Who do you think's not performing? Let us know in the comments, and please help us grow the audience. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you like this live stream episode, even if you don't. We're not too proud to admit that we're not everyone's cup of tea, but if you give us some feedback, that's the best way for us to evolve this presentation of these episodes, and make sure that we're covering the news and information that matters to you. So let us know what you think. And please, any feedback's more than welcome, because it generally generates ideas for us to research or comment on that we wouldn't be able to come up with by ourselves. So that's about it, I guess, for the moment. With a bit of luck, we'll be able to repeat our presentation of qualifying matches, which was a lot of fun for Wimbledon. And went down reasonably well. Not sure that we'll be able to go the whole hog into the depth and the detail that we did for Wimbledon, but you never know. It's all good practice for the Australian Open 2024. So let us know what you think, and let us know what you're expecting. If you've got any predictions for the US Open, let us know who your favourite player is or who you're really looking forward to seeing performing this time around. So for us, that's about it for now. And, take a deep breath, have a cup of tea, and get that butter chicken masala going. You've been listening to The Bloke Who Walks, and produced by Wise Words Media. This has been the live presentation of qualifying preview for the US Open 2023, which will be, as usual, at the USTA Billie Jean National Tennis Centre in Flushing Meadow, Queens, New York. And if you can't be there, well, why not be with us? It might not be as good as the real thing, but at least we can all enjoy it together. That's all for now. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and bye for now.